Hello,
Hello.
yeah, assembled, and today me and Susan are discussing a Hitchcock movie from the 1960s, 1966 to be precise, um, classed or described as a political thriller.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, yeah, uh, we shall see what Susan thinks, and then I will do my utmost to keep this cast going with my thoughts on this movie. It stars Paul Newman um, as a seemingly as a scientist who seemingly defects to the other side of the wall
To
of the
eternity.
Iron Curtain.
Yep.
It also stars Julie Andrews as his secretary, but also his wife to be.
Yep.
Um, and it's just down to he defects. She didn't know anything about this. She follows him across there, across into the Iron Curtain, and it all turns out it's a ploy to get information from that side of the curtain back to the other side. Um, so let's see what Susan thought of Torn Curtain.
All right. Well, you know, it's going to be interesting when it's Paul Newman, and it's going to be there's going to be a lot of emotions when it's Julie Andrews, because Julie Andrews at that point in her career was nothing but an emotional she was an emotional linchpin in the works of Hollywood. I mean, really, her whole thing was
Oh, you've gone on.
her whole thing was, she was there to make the movies emotional. She had uh she had broken through um the veneer in this one of Mary Poppins and Maria von Trapp, and this one she became like it became her acting career became wider and bigger and more diverse because of Torn Curtain and because of Alfred Hitchcock. And what's great is that she was able to, you know, still be because she was so pretty and attractive and stuff. She was a good counterpoint to Paul Newman in this, and I thought I love this movie because you know the 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 stuff that you don't know when you're watching it is so much. The slow reveal of all these things is so important, and it's got a lot of uh you know fierce you know ex- oh, fierce you wouldn't do this patriotism, you wouldn't do this, trying to second guess. Like, he went to a conference, ostensibly a conference in the beginning, and there's a guy there who one person's trying to woo, you know, Sarah, I think is her name. Oops, there I go again. Wow. Okay, but I did replace this. Anyway, geez. Sarah Sherman. Sarah Sherman was was being wooed by a fellow named I don't remember what his name is. Anyway, he was it Koska? No, that was a woman. Anyway, and he also followed Michael Armstrong back across the Iron Curtain again, you know? And so you don't really know how tight their relationship is at the beginning of this. And then, you know, as you get to the middle, you're just like, what? What? He just hates her. He's pushing her away. What? And then, you know, the 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 most amazing point was when he was with that professor in his office, parsing out those math problems for some sort of weapons grade something. And you know, he always shares low, and so this professor says, you know, you're not going to have anything for me. I think we should just push you back across the border. And he starts, like, he gets sort of caught up in one-upmanship, and by doing that, you know, Armstrong was able to draw out the information that he needed to bring it back across the border. But you know, in the process, he was like, "This is he's like, this isn't going to work for me. You're not bringing me any information. We should just send you back." And he's just like, he was playing that, and that was really, really incredibly interesting watching that play out. And then when they made it to Berlin, before that, when they made it to Berlin, the East Berlin, there was a Polish woman who tries to help them. And, you know, she wanted to defect herself, but she needed a sponsor. And then she was sort of caught up in a people push. And so she lost. Oh my gosh, there were so many, like, you know, you could see that a lot of these people were what they were after was real, but the red herrings, man. There's lots of little red fishies, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I did. I watched it a few times, and I've enjoyed the repartee, and I've enjoyed. I love it when, you know, Armstrong is trying to push Sarah away. You know, Sarah herself is a professor, a doctor. She got her degree, her PhD from Oxford. She's a really quite accomplished person, and yet, you know, he's just like elbowing her out of the way all the time, especially once he gets to Germany. He's just like, no, no, no. I don't know. It was good, and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. But Lee, it looks like you didn't really enjoy this too much.
Well, it's as I said at the beginning, it says a political thriller. Yes, it's political, but there was no thrills for me.
Oh,
so we are going to disagree on this one, Susan.
yep, I can see that.
I do know that Hitchcock got dumped with Paul Newman and Julie Andrews in those parts. He didn't want them.
Oh,
as you rightly said, Julie Andrews came off riding the wave of success of Sound of Music and Mary Poppins. She was the big thing at the time, and this is what the film company wanted, was big names in the two roles. So he didn't have a say in the matter. That he was told, you've got Julie Andrews and you're getting Paul Newman to do the leads. Even Julie Andrews said she had really nothing to do in the movie. She was she said it was not a big deal part. It was she only sort of did the thing to say that she'd worked with Hitchcock.
Yep, I believe her.
Yeah. As for Paul Newman, him and Hitchcock didn't really get on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Newman was always questioning the script. Why is his character doing this? What's the reasoning behind this? And Hitchcock didn't like that.
Oh.
You know, I think Hitchcock said your reasoning is you just do you act on screen and do your part, sort of thing. So there was that sort of thing. So there was a bit of, for me, I don't know. Yeah, Julie Andrews was miscast totally for me.
Oh, you think so?
I do, and for Newman as well. You didn't see the spark what Newman always brings to the screen. For me, he was sort of scowling, grumpy all the way through it.
I just thought that was like that was a conscious choice to make the Iron Curtain ever so much more dour.
I don't know, but I mean, some of the scenes I just thought, no, it just they're totally miscast. I do agree with you. The scene with the professor in the where they're doing on the blackboard, doing all the maths.
Yeah,
that was quite intense there. But you could see Newman, without saying any words really, was just looking at what he was writing, taking it all in, and he was going to take that information back across the border.
yeah.
But so there was just no excitement. There was, let's escape by getting on a bus.
All right, but I think that wasn't there it was sort of a big deal back in the 70s and 60s when wasn't this made in like 71?
66.
66? Sorry. Mm-hmm. Wow. Whole decade wrong, but yeah, so it was made in 66 and this and I thought that it was so much more intense, the push to defect and stuff for people. Like I thought that was like one of the biggest reasons people traveled back and forth to.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I think the supporting cast in this were great.
Yeah,
they were great. It was just the two leads for me just didn't work. I can see where Hitchcock's things, saying I don't want these two, come from, and for me personally, I can see why he didn't want those two.
All right,
but yeah, you can say with Newman, you knew what you were going to get.
Okay.
But this one, he hardly spoke. When he's got scenes with Julie Andrews, he's either not looking her way, he's got his back turned to her. You don't want to know, as you say, pushing her away.
Yep.
I don't know.
I think that the only time that they were like in the same spot was under the sheets and the
at the end.
Under the blanket at the end and under the sheets at the beginning.
Yeah.
So me, that was a good full circle there, but
I just got the feeling I got the feeling watching it that Newman just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Um, as for I said, Julie Andrews, she, totally miscast. She says she admittedly says she didn't really have much to do in the movie. It was she just turn up, say a few lines, and and just
Cup of
stand in the
tea
back.
and then walk away
Yeah,
back to
stand in the
her dressing room.
stand in the background in some scenes, and uh, I, I mean, I don't know because Hitchcock did his success did start to wane, and I think this might have been the start of it because before that his movies were so intense, thriller, Birds, Psycho, North by Northwest, things like that, Vertigo, and then you come to Torn Curtain, and there's just nothing there
Could
for
you?
me.
Is there? Did he write it?
Um,
Let me see. Hang on a second. I can find out.
no, no. Willis Hall and Keith Waterhouse wrote it. Hitchcock just directed.
All right.
And produced by Hitchcock as well. I mean, you did get a Hitchcock cameo, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Sat in the hotel lobby with that little kid on his knee.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the scene with the Polish woman wanted a sponsor. That was quite. I mean, that acting there was brilliant.
Yeah, she had everything right. I mean, she was her moments were good. Her movement was precise. She was absolutely a peach to watch, and she was she was a good sort of whereas Julie at that point looked really sort of dour and sophisticated. This woman looked engaged and
Yeah. What else? I mean, also the killing of what was his character's name? Gromek,
yeah,
played by Wolfgang Keeling. That that went on for quite a while. The
yeah,
struggle in the kitchen, and Hitchcock did that on purpose apparently because he wanted to show that fights because usually fight scenes are he in his mind were over in a few seconds.
right,
You bop someone and he's down, but he
yeah,
wanted to show that a struggle could go on for a while,
yeah,
which it did with no words really.
yeah, and like Newman ending up never the worse for wear for that big struggle.
No, yeah,
But
exactly.
but the
Blood on his jacket. That was it.
yeah, like pushing him down and kicking him and hitting him and stuff. But yeah, that was quite incredible
And then ended up gassing him.
and gassing him.
So, so yeah, I mean that was well thought out, and I mean I can't knock Hitchcock's directing because he's proved many times he was a master of that, and
Yeah,
he was a master of the thriller, the
yep.
macabre. But this one, it's just I don't know. It might have been the subject what made it feel a bit down. So, but I think what it was those actors being
Well,
forced onto it.
I think that the reason that it was shot into that sort of, I mean, they shot with Fuji and everything's blue. All the imagery is blue. Like they chose a film stock that was necessarily going to change the color temperature of everything, like push it all to the blue side, and and then and that really works when you're talking about like going through checkpoints and stuff, and other things. It's not as people don't often do that. I mean, like the mouse that roared, that was shot on Kodak, and it was bright and sparkly and pushed towards the red and yellow, the warmer side of things.
Yeah, I mean, this was his 50th film, Hitchcock. This was his 50th
Yeah, I
film.
thought it was 60th. I was like,
But
anyway.
so by that time, he was losing the spark, I think.
Yeah,
But
true.
that's my personal opinion.
Okay.
You know, it's
Yeah. So, I the other part that was really good was in was them getting on the boat, and like the bus and then the boat. That their escape plan was incredible. I mean, they went from the bus to the Polish woman, to the post office where they got sent to the theater, and they were told to get in the baskets, and then the baskets were put on the ship, and then the police shot up the other baskets on the other side of the ship, and on the port side there was on the starboard side there was there they were out of the baskets and into the water, climbing up the
I mean,
ladder.
there was the funny side to that was with the ballerina who
Who was
who who at the beginning of the film was
wanted?
coming out of the airplane and wanted her photographs and all that, but they wasn't interested in her.
Uh-huh.
And then at the end of the movie, she was coming off the ship, and the photographer wasn't interested in her again.
Uh-huh. Poor lady.
Yeah, it's a strange one. This movie for me.
Yeah, I mean, but this was different. Paul allowed it to be different than the Steve McQueen movie, because that whole thing with Steve McQueen, like you run on a motorcycle, you jump on a motorcycle, and suddenly you're in West Germany, right?
Yeah.
And the difference is that Paul Newman had to take a bus. Paul and Julie had to take a bus and a boat and a basket and a forklift or a crane lift, and da 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 da. They had all these like different steps that they had to do to get, and that's just really different. It makes a different kind of action hero.
I see. I didn't see no. For me, there was no chemistry between Andrews and Newman.
Oh,
On screen, I could see no chemistry.
I didn't miss that. It was definitely present. That one there's only two scenes where it's present: under the blanket and under the sheets. That's it. That's the only time. But then after that, he has to push her away. And
in other Hitchcock movies with the two, leading man and lady, you could see chemistry straight away. But this one, there was just nothing there. And this is why I think both Andrews and Newman didn't want to be there either, and Hitchcock didn't want them there.
Okay.
But I mean, some people like this movie. I mean, it did. I think it did well at the box office. I think. Where are we?
Oh, I did. I enjoyed it. Like before we said that we were going to do this.
It was. I mean, I have seen. This is only the second time I've seen this movie, and the first time was, oh God, nearly 25 years ago. But
yeah.
Yeah, it box office $13 million. So back then in 1966 wasn't bad.
Yeah.
The budget, it cost $3 million to make. So, but yeah, it was a strange one for me. So
Okay.
anything else you want to bring forth, or
No, I just, yeah, and then after this, after seeing this, and after getting together with Blake Edwards, he proceeded to try to demolish all of the purity from of Julie Andrews. You know, like she would never ever be thought of as somebody who is like pure and innocent ever again.
yeah, but she must have
When he
been,
did when he put her in SOB in like early 70s or something, like this was one of those turning point things for her. It's like, you know, before this there was Julie Andrews, she's an angel, and then like after this, you know, she's quite a tart, you know.
well, she can't have done too much wrong because she became a dame.
Well, right. I mean, she's totally amazing. No
And
shit.
you know,
She is the best.
I think she's about 87 now.
Yeah, she is, and she just
And she's looking good for her age.
yeah. And I just read their two autobiographies. Home and Home is the first one, and that's all the way up through her debut in Hollywood, and then Homework was everything after that, and then all the way through where her romance with Blake, and then, you know, but she didn't really talk very much about Torn Curtain, actually.
Ah, you see.
So I you may be right about that. Boy, I don't know. Anyway,
Who knows? Who knows? So you got anything else, or shall we go on to final say?
I that's really all I've got.
Radio then. So final say and score then. What would you give this?
Well, it's a personal favorite of mine. But you know, anything that Julie Andrews is in is a personal favorite of mine. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna score it down too far, but it's been interesting listening to what you discovered about this and how it's not exactly the way my rose-colored glasses watching it the first 4 times or something showed me. So yeah, I guess I'll give this 8 baskets of clownware out of 10.
Well, for me, I like Paul Newman. I like Julie Andrews. I like Alfred Hitchcock. But these three things just didn't gel in this movie for me. They just didn't work together. Would it have been any better if it was different casts? Who knows? So, for that reason alone, I'm going to give this 6 sponsors out of 10.
Oh, nice.
You see, it's a watchable movie, but I don't know, there's something really big lacking in this movie, and I just don't know what it is. Yeah, so, but hey, Susan likes it. I'm not hating on it. So So that's our little review of Torn Curtain.
Yep.
So you guys out there, have you seen Torn Curtain? What did you think of it? Leave a comment below. Let us know. If you haven't, go out and watch it. Come back, then leave a comment below. We're not forcing you to do that, but we'd like you to do it.
Yep.
It's called cinematic education in our books. So yeah, leave a comment below, or get in touch with us if you want to join us. All we ask of you is to be 18 plus, because the things we discuss sometimes are 18 rated, movies or whatever. Also, you need a laptop, PC, what else? Mobile phone, even, or a tablet with a camera and microphone with the Zoom app, and you can be on our casts if you want to. Just let us know. Get in touch. Say, I want to be on that. I need you in my life.
Yep.
Yeah, and what else did I have to say? Was that it? Yeah, oh yeah, you'll find us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Insta, so you can message us on any of those. So just at Geeks Assembled, and you'll find us.
Yep.
So that is it for today. We don't know what we're doing next week because we haven't decided. We don't know which route we're going to go down. We don't know if we're going to go down fantasy. We don't know if we're going to go romance or comedy, horror, sci-fi, murder mystery, musicals, animation. We don't know. We discussed that once the camera goes off.
Yep.
So until next time, guys, please be safe out there. Bye for now.